Hi guys, we have finally saw a positive week in the crypto market. Let's take a closer look. Let's see what happened in the crypto market the last week. As you can see in this chart, we had still on Monday the signs of the correction, and on Tuesday the market turned around, and basically all other days we saw quite a nice pluses. And as you can see, the total performance in May was minus 21%. And yeah, obviously after a few weeks of a downtrend, which happened after a strong rebound in April, we are starting to continue to see the uptrend in prices. We're gonna have to wait and see if this is something more of a long term or just 1 week as an exception. The 1 week performance was plus 7.8%, which is quite nice performance for the week, and month to date, so this means from the beginning of the month till the end of Sunday, the positive performance was 6.3%. Now let's take a closer look at Bitcoin and Ether performance. Tim?
Okay, sure. So as you said, the market really did well last week, and this also resulted in Bitcoin and Ether to perform great as well. So Bitcoin had a 1 week gain of nearly 5%. Month-to-date performance was close enough, was 3%. Then Ether, on the other hand, had a greater performance than Bitcoin, which had 8% gain. Mm-hmm. That's on a weekly basis, and a month-to-date base, we have 7.1% gain, which is amazing.
Yeah, as I said, a rebound finally happened. Let's see how long it will sustain.
Yeah,
if this
definitely.
is a continuation of the bull run, which we believe might be the case, but yeah, time will tell. Okay, so let's take a look at the best and worst performance last week, top 3 in the biggest 25 digital asset space. So the best performer last week was actually IOTA. Why?
They actually deployed the platform Cubic,
okay,
which is for the smart contracts. And sure, the investors actually saw development and they accepted it well. So they started to buy more, and it resulted in IOTA to gain such a great change.
Yeah. We can see that crypto is really a sentiment-driven market, which means that all these big news and changes affect the prices quite well. So IOTA appreciated for 26%. And the second was Bitcoin Cash with 24% and Cardano with 22% weekly gain. As you can probably remember, during the last bear market, Bitcoin Cash and Cardano were actually the worst performers. They were hit the hardest. So it makes sense that during the upturn, they're usually, and we believe will be one of the best performers.
Yeah. Okay, so let's check the top weekly losers.
Okay.
The first one was actually Tron. So Tron, we're gonna talk about EOS later on. Okay. Tron had the same thing as EOS. Mm-hmm. So actually they went out with their mainnet and actually employed their mainnet.
Beta version.
Beta version of the mainnet. But they haven't transferred their tokens to their blockchain yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like EOS did, for example.
EOS did, for example. Okay. Yeah. And so investors took that pretty negatively, and which actually resulted in a negative. Yeah.
Okay.
The second one was Zcash, and the third one Monero. So these privacy coins have been in debate for quite some time now, and they have seen, let's say, less gains than other coins because exchanges aren't sure what regulators will say about privacy.
They don't like privacy coins too much. That's the fact.
Yeah, and also investors listen to them, and so
we had actually Zcash, despite being the loser, second worst performing, had a positive performance.
Yeah, it still had a
1%,
yeah.
And Monero a little more than 5% gain. Okay, so let's take a look at the big news this last week, and definitely I think one of the biggest news last week was the EOS ICO finally concluded. They raised immensely huge $4 billion.
Crazy. Yeah.
I have no idea why they needed this amount of money for, but let's see, time will tell.
Yeah.
Let's hope for the best. But also they launched their mainnet. They transferred the tokens from the Ethereum blockchain. They swapped them actually to their native blockchain, which is a huge move and huge milestone for them. And I'm quite excited what they will bring up in the future.
Definitely. Okay, so the second news actually came from Binance. So Binance has a lot of plans for 2019.
Yeah, definitely.
If you remember, they actually stated that they will make a decentralized version of their current exchange. Now, the second plan that they are now doing is they are gathering 20 private investors to start a giant 1 billion fund, which is quite a lot, and we'll see how they will do.
Definitely huge news. I mean, another good step towards the, let's say, adoption. They will fund crypto startups with this amount of money, 1 billion, which is huge. And Binance, if you remember, 1 year ago, it didn't even exist, and now it's such a big player. Massive achievement from their side. Definitely. Okay, Beatrix had a big move also last week. So they are actually starting to offer fiat pairs for the corporate investors. Signed an agreement with the bank. Huge news for Beatrix and another step towards the mass adoption. So big up for Beatrix last week. And South Korea made U-turns, you can say. So months ago they banned everything crypto-related, exchanges, ICOs, everything. And now first exchanges came back. Now they're planning to really push the ICOs to be legal again. And a really big U-turn, and big up for the Korean government, which is making, I believe, a really important step towards the right direction.
Okay guys, so something to think about since we're on the topic of ICOs. So ICOs have been and are a big thing, but just how big they actually are, let's take a look.
I'm curious actually. Let's
definitely. So in 2017, ICOs collectively raised 3.8 billion. Okay, so do you dare to take a guess how much did they raise in 2019?
Well, I know the Telegram itself raised a huge amount of money, but I have no idea. Let's check.
Collectively they raised since 9.55 billion, which is amazing.
In the first 5 months.
In the first 5 months,
crazy number.
Crazy number.
Interesting.
And now we'll just check, like you said, so the biggest ICOs. Okay, in 2017, the biggest ICO was Hidek, and they raised 258 million.
Okay.
Now compared, like you said, to Telegram, which raised $1.7 billion. I mean, the comparison it isn't there, right?
And you can see EOS with 4 billion, but they raised in 2017 and 2018.
A year-long ICO, and Telegram was really successful in that part.
Definitely.
Okay, then another great stat that we have for you guys is the number of ICOs that were published in the last 3 months, which was actually 1,388 ICOs, new ones.
This is really crazy. I mean, more than 400 on average each month, new ICOs coming out. So can you actually track them all? I mean, it's kind of crazy, but it's the nature of the market.
But interestingly, if we might compare, the market has been in a bear run since mid-February, right?
Correct.
And ICOs were actually doing better now than in December and September, which is interesting, right? Once it was in a bull run. Very interesting. Okay, and the last one, guys, we have is that it was a report that stated that more than half of ICOs still doesn't raise enough or complete the funding raise.
In 2017 more than half failed to meet their targets, which I think we'll do another report on this later on, because 2017, the first half at least, or majority of the year, a lot of them met the targets, but it will be interesting to see what happened this year on the front.
Definitely. And one more thing, guys. So next week, what we'll do, we'll actually make an extended version of the ICOs. And what we'll check is really interesting. What we'll check is what would be more beneficial, to have your money in your pocket, or to put it in Bitcoin, or to invest it in ICOs. And we'll check what will be more beneficial for you in the last 12 months.
So guys, tell us, what do you think actually was the best investment in the last 12 months? Cash, Bitcoin, or diversify your investments in different ICOs?
That's it.
Okay, Gary, thank you for today. Follow us. Please post the comments. We are really curious to see what you think about our video weekly reports, and great to have you here. Until next week, all the best. Bye.
Cheers, guys.